Hey everyone, before the video begins, I would like to make a quick announcement, and that is I've changed the price of memberships on the channel. For $3 a month only, you get multiple benefits including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of every single video, Discord access, and I can't forget about these sweet Hollow Knight badges. Of course you don't have to, but I just want to let you know. Okay, love you, bye. I've heard that the Serpent Hunting Spear is one of the best in the game, and I would love to see a full run of that for review. Alright. Let me give you some context if you don't know already, which you probably do, but let me just string out this intro longer than it should be. The Serpent-Hunter Spear is found within Rykard's arena in order to slay him with style, a classic gimmick boss. Once the fight is done, or if you take this weapon outside its intended use, it becomes a regular old spear, but that's not going to stop me from using it. Today we tested the Serpent-Hunter Spear. I know many people use it, for level 1 runs or speed runs as it requires 0 in all attributes to wield. But I'm doing neither of those, just doing a regular old run. Its scaling and strength is insane, so that's what we're going for. So, let's get into it. Without further ado, my name is Josh, also known as Georgia, and I hope you enjoy the Serpent-Hunter run. Now I would do my usual, I started with the blank class, but I forgot to record it. In fact, I forgot to record me gathering everything, just the whole setup. So let me just tell you straight up what we're cooking with. Before Morgot, I had the Golden Vow Ash of War, Flame Grant Me Strength, the Spiked Crack Tier to increase charge attacks, the Stone Barbed Crack Tier to increase posture damage, and finally, the Axe Talisman to further increase charge attacks by 10%. The other talismans obviously don't come into play until later on, but I have the Ritual Sword Talisman and the Two Fingers Talisman to increase my faith. The reason I have that talisman is so I can use the Flame Grant Me Strength incantation, plus there's really no other talismans of interest anyway, so it doesn't really matter. My strength is the only stat that matters right now, and a lot of you have been asking me to include my stats, but yeah, strength, it's exactly 49. And now, with that out of the way, it's time to humiliate some bosses. Morgot was a perfect fight. A near-perfect fight. I was a bit reckless, because, he's the first boss. What do you... yeah. But I just charged attacks in his face, and that pretty much did the job. Godric, I was surprised to see that this weapon can kill him before he enters the second phase. I just penetrated my loaded spear into his body a couple of times, and that's all she wrote.
Wow! Even this weapon kills Godric before he transitions. That's pretty nuts.
Up next was Radahn, and I like to wait for the forward combo. Sticking to his crotch always works, although sometimes he shifts in a weird direction, so just be wary of that. From there, I like to get hit by his swords when he's buffing. It happens more times than it should, but you fake out in front of him, smack the horse's butt crack, and that should be the end of the fight, but unfortunately, I didn't have enough stamina to finish him off. Doesn't matter though, because even if he does enter the second phase, you do enough damage where he always does his meteor setup, which is an easy win right there. The Dragonic Sentinel has a weakness against weapons with high posture damage. All it takes is 2 hits, boom, he staggers. One last charge heavy, and then you have the freedom to be a bit stylish here if you wish to. I chose the jumping heavy attack, just, I don't know, I'm not really that stylish. But what's even better is Morgot, who you can probably stagger with a pencil after a few hits. Seriously, this guy is weaker than I am. But let me not get ahead of myself. Ghost Free was next. Except I forgot to record that, so Morgot it is again. Now first, you have to wait a century for him to finally jump towards you. It'll take a while, but he'll do it. 2 charged heavy attacks, stagger, you get the critical hit, and then just play out the second phase. I will either bait for the jump attack again or wait for the blood flame attacks. They are just as easy to counter as you can see. Funny enough, I did a live stream run with Vike's Spear, which did even better than the Serpent-Hunter against Morgot. That I did not expect, and I don't know why that happened. I don't know if he's weak to fire or not. But as I do these runs more, I'm starting to realize that the Fire Giant might be one of the worst bosses to fight, or rather, endure, until my patience wears thin. And don't get me wrong, I like the concept of the Fire Giant, I think it's clever, but man, this fight is long. First phase is no issue whatsoever, a few hits takes him down. It's obviously the second phase that gives me a headache. The only weak points are his hands, head, and of course the gaping eyeball at the center of his chest. That's my weakness too. I like to save my Wondrous Physic for this part because of the extra posture damage, which most of the time will stagger him. You have to position yourself carefully, however, because you may miss the eye. Regardless, on my successful attempt, I got a juicy eyeball hit, and from there I chipped away at his health. Again, I like the fire giant, but man, he can be a chore sometimes. What's even more of a chore is the foreskin duo. Honestly though, it wasn't too bad, because pure strength builds, if you haven't noticed thus far, are pretty nice. I will say though that this weapon's posture damage is so bad for what it is. I really thought that heavy spears would be, more heavy hitting, but it's really not. I've been hitting the fat one here constantly for 10 seconds, and he didn't take a knee. But with the help of Bernal, it was easy to clean up the rest of this mess. As you can see, I removed the Dragonic Tree Sentinel from the equation so I could buff peacefully outside Malekith's arena. I didn't really have a strat here because the Beast Clergyman is just so fast, and I didn't really feel like thinking here. I simply waited for the few attacks that I could counter, snuck in a risky charge attack, and thankfully, Malekith is very easy to stagger as well. Second phase was an easy cleanup. I remember I used to pull strands of my hair when he would do his anime of 1,000 blades, but after a while I actually figured out how to properly dodge it. It's very strict, but you can do it. Seconds later, we get a last-minute stagger, thus ending the fight. Now, as always, Gideon was either going to be really easy or excruciatingly difficult that would take years off my life. Let's find out.
I knew you'd come!
To stand before the Elden Ring, to become Elden Lord. Sad state of affair. I commend your spirit, but alas.
Alright! I had nothing to worry about.
Yeah, thankfully the fight was very easy this time around, but I still hate him. And that will never change.
Yeah! What is wrong with you? Watch this Chad move right here.
Yeah, as usual with Godfrey, it's hard to be flexible with my attacks, so I relied on staying just out of range, using the spear's reach to poke him enough times that people with trypophobia would be spooked. I could get in a hefty charge attack while he buffs, but other than that, there's really not much else to do. And yeah, he went down, and boom. And finally, we have Radagon and the Eldenbeast. Depending on what he does, the first phase can either be a pain or a simple stepping stone. A charged and light attack for the opener. He gave me great RNG and did his hammer sweep, which is an easy full charged attack. As he jumped, it's easy to stagger him right here, bringing him down all the way to his scripted triple slam. From there, I waited for similar openings, although I could have probably staggered him again if I was more aggressive, but I will never know. Now, because this is strictly a strength weapon, I had no issues with the Eldenbeast, at least not as many as I usually do. I actually staggered him as he was doing the Elden Stars animation, which cancels it out entirely. I didn't know that until just now. So it was great to finally prevent that attack from ruining my entire night. Not to mention my damage was pretty good. And there you have it, folks. I defeated Elden. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. So I live streamed this whole run, and after we defeated the final boss, we decided to pay Renala a visit. So here's that experience.
I'm actually gonna equip that, yeah. Okay, let's do it. Sleep tight! Freaking... Sleep tight yourself! My ritual sword talisman. Ew! Alright, 2 hits it is! Who said 2 hits? They get a reward. Ah! What happened? Oh gosh! Dude! Look at that, we have 69,000... Alright, we're ending the run there.
I didn't do Mog or Melania on this run because I didn't want to make that whole trek through the consecrated snowfield only for people to click off the video at this point. I also had 69,000 runes and I couldn't afford to, ruin that. But if you did make it this far, first of all, thank you. Second, as a reward, let me give you a 30-second review on a weapon that I tested that I will never upload, but still have some of the footage for it. The Frozen Needle was recommended to me some time ago, actually, and I thought, sure, it seems like a fun weapon. I realized very quickly that rapiers are basically larger toothpicks, and their damage is abysmal. What really sucks about this weapon, though, is the fact that I have to fight a freaking revenant in order to obtain it. That should have been a telltale sign that things would go downhill from there. I mean, it was a quick weapon. You could easily squeeze in multiple consecutive hits where normally I wouldn't be able to. However, the damage even then did not stack up enough to make a video about, if you ask me. It was boring, you know? I give this weapon a 4 out of 10. It's not the worst, but it's certainly not the best out there. As for the Serpent-Hunter, I'm giving it double the score, a solid 8. There was no reason to use the weapon art, obviously, so it was a simple charge-based build that did incredible damage, good reach, and against certain bosses, decent stagger damage. I recommend it. You don't even have to fight Rykard to keep it, you can just steal it from his room and leave him there with his thoughts. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I apologize that today's episode was not nearly as long as it usually is, and I think that's just because I didn't really know what else to say. I mean, this weapon kills bosses in less than 30 seconds. I don't know how to describe it except to kind of give you the play-by-play, which really wasn't that much because, again, the fights were 30 seconds long. I'll have to be a bit more creative in the future. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and to subscribe for more content like this. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone, and of course, stay safe.